Hi, I'm Rob O'Neill, and this is throwing a shovel at an end gun. Take one. Tightened up. It's not moving. Well, what are you up to this morning? Yeah? You got the fly swatter? Yeah? You gonna whack it? Yeah? You see yourself in the camera? Oh, yeah. Say hello. Can you say hello? Hi. Margaret, psst. Can you say hi? She's got plans. She's got plans. And we were attempting to get the strip tiller set this morning, and we had to do a few more tweaks to it. We added some weight and we may take some off, but I had to leave early to take Margaret home because she needed a nap because she was starting to fall asleep in the tractor. So I left my brother to it, and I guess we'll see where things are at when we get back to the shop here this afternoon now. Pulling into the field here. So now it's really windy, so forgive me if it's howly on this camera, but that's the biggest setback to these cameras is so for those of you just tuning in and didn't see the last video, this is the new Hawkins Vertistrip. It's an all Coulter strip till machine. It's got 3 Coulters and some packing baskets. I kind of explained it more in the video before, so. One of the problems is we had no moisture over the winter, and so all this fluff never broke down at all. So it just kind of, it's filling it up and it does a nice job, but when the wind blows, it just kind of blows it back over. So I mean, you'd have to rely on your road cleaners now to sweep that trash away, but there's moisture there underneath that residue, so that's why you leave the residue. Can almost make a little bit of a ball, not much. The idea is to sweep that trash out of the way and kind of do some tillage there. I don't know. It's just so fluffy. When it's, or do we wait till maybe we get a rain and then we just come back later and fill it in? Fill it in. We're just trying to figure out what we want to do. We may bring a planter out just to see how it's going to poke through this hard crust for when we no-till some of these. We're just trying to figure out how, well, I said it before, we want to do this. So much dust. This heavy stuff, it's still tilling it, it just, all this fluff lays back down.
Yeah, I know.
Fluffity fluff. So the plan is now kind of back here on this test field of ours, aka the home field. We're just gonna see, or we're gonna bring a planter back here to see what it'll do versus what the strip tiller does, to see if no-till or strip till will be the better bet on some of these, or if we're just wasting each other's time. Sometimes that burner doesn't always get shut off, and it'll evaporate all that.
I showed these guys that to find a bolt.
I don't know if we have one that long enough. Doing some irrigating over there. See which one's my downforce, or if it's even that stupid thing.
What the heck happened?
That's probably because I left my probably. So he's out there, we're just kind of going slow, so we're checking this out. What the heck? Must have to shut off everything. What? I don't even know.
Be good to see the soil contact down in there. I should make, where's it normally set for corn? Is it 4 and 3?
It's, I think 4 and 4. Well, that's got to be close.
Like how your down pressure is it?
Well, that's what I just, it's my first go around, so I'm not. That there's actually some moisture. I think we're getting it kind of tuned in. It's just really hard. So one thing we're kind of questioning is the downforce, but we added some weight. I think it'll work. We didn't put any seed in the planter. We're just kind of trying to see if we like the no-till, or if we don't like it, we need a strip till. So stay tuned, because we're still kind of up in the air, but I think the no-till would work with these, with the weight. and it'll save some of the moisture, but the plan is, especially on the pivots where we can run water, is to run a little water first, and then the dry land, stick it in the ground, just pray for rain probably. So right now I'm just going to take it back to the shop and probably call it a night, and wait for the wind to blow more tomorrow. It's just like a dusty haze. I don't know if you can see that. When you're in the uninsulated side of the shop and it's windy out, it just sounds like the world's coming down. So another day, and we're doing something a little different again. We're back in the VT disc. So I just got done greasing a few of the main bearings and swivels, and we are going to take it out to the field and I'll explain why. Well, that didn't work. We have a pivot corner that's really trashy and it's gravity irrigated, and that's not going to do the trick because a vertical till doesn't really bury anything. It just kind of slices it up, but it actually wasn't really helping anything because we've ran the stock chopper over it already, and so we may have to use the old Kraus disc on it, or maybe do another pass of that. I'm not sure. The reason why we want to try to size up that residue a little bit better is because when you come in there to cultivate it, it makes it just a mess, and it won't do a very good job cultivating or ridging it, making or ditches for the water to run down. So we'll have to see what we can do there. So sorry if I didn't explain it very well. I was kind of trying to do some testing and I just forgot to film it. So my apologies. So right now I'm gonna head out to a pivot that the end gun, the big sprinkler on the end that shoots the water out, is not shutting off when I start it, and it's pointing right towards a gravel road, and that's bad because it'll kind of create that road. It really floods it out, and people don't like that, and we get calls. So I'm going to see, sometimes there's a little 1/4-inch line on there that uses suction that opens the aqua valve, is I believe how it works. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's I think it's called like a Skinner valve that turns aqua valve on and off, and that line might be broke or pulled off. So I'm gonna see if that's the case. I got some line in my pickup, and if not, then I call somebody. I wonder what these people want. Can I come through? Seriously. Okay. Must have smelled. I give a lot of ladies that same response. But it only takes one to tolerate you. Love you, dear. Okay. I'll have to climb up there to see if it's broke anywhere. I smoked my knee on something this morning and now it's just sore. What the hell, they're plugged in up here. Well, I don't see any problems, except this valve could be bad, would be my guess. So I think I'd have to either get that valve or give somebody a call probably. I may go try to run it again just to see if tapping on it. Sometimes that breaks it free, but the old farmer fix. Not sure why it's loose up in there. Maybe the first time around it just needs recycled or something, I don't know. Wait for it to pressure up. 10-4. Well, it kicked on, so the farmer shot didn't work. Hey. So I'm not smart, but you already knew that. I forgot I was messing up with my app, and I had it on always on, so it naturally it would be always on. So I turned it off on it, and now it's shut off. So I'll leave it run for the next couple hours, because I'll have to be coming back out here tonight to shut it off, because it gets cold at night and we don't want these to freeze up. So my guess is we should probably replace that Skinner valve. I think that's what it's called, sometime, because that must have been the culprit. Probably been on there since '82, so I guess you can't make too much fun of it. I don't know if I told you what kind of our plan is now, because it's been changing by, well, the minute pretty much. But what we're planning on doing, since it's so dry, and this is kind of your first video, this is kind of an abnormally dry spring for us. We haven't really received any moisture all winter long since harvest. And so the issue is our ground is getting hard, and we're trying to figure out ways to manage it, because usually you have some form of moisture. This year we've had so much wind and dry weather that it's created a crust on top, and so it's just not letting typical practices work as well. So our plan is to run the pivots and soak as much as we can and no-till most of it, with the exceptions of a few that we strip till, or like our gravity is still a question on how we're gonna deal with that. We ran a stock chopper over it to kind of size up the residue, but we don't know if we want to do that again, or especially on the ones with the trash, just kind of like we were over there with. So what I'm doing now is we're starting pivots and running them to kind of hopefully soften up that ground as much as we can, so we can plant as well as we can. But we're still going to have dry land pivot corners, because a pivot's a circle, and you usually on a quarter you have square quarters and you have pivot corners, so that'll be an issue. And just being dry in general and getting it out of the ground, it's kind of the issue we're dealing with right now. I'm so sorry if I didn't explain that very well, but I've kind of had a cold and I'm just not thinking straight. But here we go. Well guys, I think I'm gonna call it for this video here. I just hope you have a great Easter weekend. May the Lord bless you guys, and I just really appreciate you watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.